What's going on, people? It's Mr. Dore back again with another podcast. I hope everyone's fit and well and had a great day. We're going to talk about yesterday's game that ended Crystal Palace 1, Nottingham Forest 1. If you do want to get involved, please get in the comment section now. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the like button. That's the most important thing before we start the show. If you're new, if you are brand new, make sure you do subscribe. And like I said, people get involved on the topics that we're going to be talking about today. Right, we've got the group, we've got half of the group, the Tricky Talks group today. I think we've got the bet now. Chelsea's missing Chelsea. We're not missing Molo. Molo's on the holiday, so Molo's suspended for one podcast. But who should we start with? We'll start with you, Kate. How you doing, Kate?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, feels like it's been a big week, doesn't it? Back on the Forest roller coaster nice and early. Plenty of ups and downs, but yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, people showing some love to Kate. And we've got next door, we've got the man himself, Simon. How you doing, Simon?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Thanks again for having me on. Really enjoyed it last time, so it's good to be back. And like Kate said, bit of a roller coaster, but being on this podcast is very much on one of the high points of that roller coaster for sure.
Like I said, people that do the Tricky Talk podcast, people, I am going to put the link in the link. So people, please do. It's a massive help. Please follow Tricky Talk. Like I said, it's got Simon, Kate, Molo, and Chelsea on there as well. So if you do a massive for him, talk about like we do, talk about Forest, please go and follow him because, like I said, I don't listen to Molo. When Molo talks, I just don't listen to him. He talks too much. So I listen to the rest. But like I said, people, please show some love and do follow them on Spotify, Tricky Talks. Right, there's lots to talk about, people. There's so much talk before the game about what's going to happen, all this. There's going to be an atmosphere before the game. And let me make this clear, people. Nothing happened. In the ground, there's banter back and forth. A few things that was I think was a bit disrespectful, but outside the ground, there's no issues at all. So the media, pathetic. And that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it loud and clear. Absolutely pathetic on how they made it was. But like I said, both fans outside the ground was a bit joking, banter and that, but like I said, nothing happened. Right, let's talk about the game. And ended 1-1. I'm gonna get your thoughts, Kate. Are you happy with a 1-1, or are you disappointed we could have got the late winner?
I think having gone 1-0 down, you can't be anything but happy with bringing a point home. Overall, I am a little bit disappointed. I did think we could win, and certainly second half we looked the more likely to win. But I guess, again, having gone 1-0 down and still coming back and putting on that second half performance, we got to take some heart from that. And it's a good away point, as they say, in a very loaded game. So yeah, we'll take it.
Simon, what's your thoughts on the whole game?
Yeah, it was a good point. I think Crystal Palace is not an easy game, easy place to go to. They'd played one more game, obviously, than Forest, and so in terms of getting that match fitness going, it was a case of if only, though. I mean, if only Jesus had put that chance in right at the end, it could have been 3 points, and we'd have come away thinking almost top of the league, nearly anyway. But overall, I think good point. If you'd have asked me before the game, would you have taken a point? I would have said, yeah, absolutely. So we've got to be pleased with that, and we move on.
100%. Before I do, like to talk about the main bits and the main talking points from the game, I want to say shout out to Colin. He said hi. People, if you want to be like Colin and be a member to my channel, like I said, it helps my channel a lot. As you know, I will be going to the European tour. The tour, the draw is on Friday, but that's later on in the show. I'm still buzzing. I'm buzzing about the draw. So people, if you want to be like Colin, be a member as well. And I put like the Tricky Talks link on top of the description as well, people. All you do is click on it and follow. That's all you're going to do. So people, click the top of the link and follow Tricky Talks as well. Okay, any players that stuck out for you? Because like I said, we kept the same team that would beat Brentford. So any players that from the start lineup that stood out for you?
I mean, you got to talk about Callum. Got to talk about Callum and that goal, which, was classic Hudson-Odoi in terms of how it was scored, but really, really good to see him going on a decent run, taking on a defender, coming out on top, and absolutely blasting it into the bottom corner. What a moment that was. Absolutely incredible. I think he said in his interview, it's great to be off the mark. And I do think in general, he was a lot more prolific in that game than he was last week. So, yeah, if you needed a game to get going and this is what we've got, then, yeah, Callum for me.
100%. Before I get Simon, sorry, I'll go for the chart. Here's Caspar. Hello, my friend. Eve, always a legend. Good evening, Mr. Dore, Simon and Kate. I hope you're all well. Back from Canada. I'm back on Saturday. I'm jet lagged yesterday and today. I hope you had a good trip. Good trip there, Eve. Niall, how you doing, my friend? And as well. And Cal, how you doing, my friend? I hope you yourself are all good. Sorry, any players that stood out? Like I said, Callum Story got his goal. But the first half, like I said, we didn't get going anywhere. At all.
No, we didn't. It was lots of pretty football, I thought, but yeah. I don't remember Dean Henderson being tested at all in that first half. Obviously, second was a different story. But in terms of players that stood out, I think that central defensive partnership of Murillo and Milenkovic stood out for me because they kept Mateta quiet, and Mateta's really dangerous in that Palace team. So I thought they did a great job of keeping him quiet. And ultimately, he got substituted in the second half. So I think they did a really good job of shutting him down. Yeah, Palace had a bit of decent possession towards the end of that first half when they scored. Don't really remember too much in terms of them being that clinical offensively other than that period. Certainly second half, they were a lot quieter, and the impetus was with Forest in that second half. And I put a lot of that down to that central defensive partnership of Murillo and Milenkovic, definitely.
Okay, well, let's talk about what Simon said, the partnership of Milenkovic and Murillo. Like I said, I think we've got it's going to be a long season. We've got about 100 centre backs at Nottingham Forest. It's going to be hard for any of our 5 centre backs we've got to replace them two, because we've got Bolle, we've got Morata, Jack Cunha, he wasn't even on the bench. We've got Zagabert. It's them two. They've got to be on their game, don't they? Because it's going to be a long season, and them two again was just another great performance from both of them.
Yeah, I mean, if any of those two have a rest or they're injured or they get suspended, I think I'd be a little bit concerned, given how strong those two are. It was interesting to see, like you say, Cunha not on the bench. I don't think was on the bench either yesterday, no. And it was Bolle and Morata, wasn't it? So it was interesting to see when that rotation does start, because inevitably it will at some point. It has to, due to the amount of games we're going to play, just who is going to fill in for whom at that position.
Okay, let's talk about the two centre midfielders, Sangare and Anderson. And again, there's always going to be a talk point with Sangare, like with me. But what do you think about Sangare now? Because we've got Douglas Luiz, who's be significant to get in the team. What do you think about Sangare? They played yesterday.
I think Sangare is holding his own. I still haven't seen anything that I would count as absolutely spectacular, but he's certainly much improved from his last sort of bit of a run in the team. I think there is some nice link-up play going on in the midfield, and I do like that he is much more stuck in. He's getting involved a lot more. I'm noticing him, which, in itself has to be a positive. He is under an awful lot of pressure with Douglas Luiz coming in particular. So he has to bring it. He has to step it up. He has to show week in, week out why he is the one that starts. And it will be really, really interesting to see if he can do that.
The question is, and people in the chat as well, get involved in this one. Like, both Sangare and Anderson played well. We brought Douglas Luiz, and like I said, we can't deny Douglas Luiz is a fantastic player. And all season, we are going to rotate. But do you think, in hindsight, do you think Douglas Luiz in the future is going to replace one of them two, Simon? Because we can't, like I said, the Aston Villa version, Douglas Luiz was fantastic. Juventus didn't play well, but like I said, he didn't come on yesterday, maybe because he came in really late. Do you think Douglas Luiz will slowly take over one of them two, or do you think Forest should stick with Sangare or Anderson?
No, I think Luiz is the obvious candidate to replace Sangare, because if you look at that midfield, he is the obvious candidate who's going to be substituted every game, unless there's something happens to Gibbs White or Anderson. Sangare is the likely candidate to be substituted on a regular basis. And you're right, when Douglas Luiz does settle in, I can see that door swinging his way, actually, in terms of playing time. That's nothing against Sangare. I think, like what Kate said, he's been really solid, hasn't really done anything too wrong, but I don't think he's yet performed at a high level for the whole 90 minutes. So I think that for him, that's his next step. If he wants to maintain that place in the team, he's got to do it for the full 90. Otherwise, I can see that rotation coming in, and ultimately, when Douglas Luiz is raring to go and embedded properly and integrated into the team, undoubtedly he's a better talent. He's a better footballer than Sangare, and you'd expect him to come into that starting lineup at his expense, really.
100%. Let's talk about
we had a really good conversation about this in the Garibaldi Girls group chat. Big up the Garibaldi Girls, by the way.
Shout out to the Garibaldi Girls, people. Shout out.
Get joining that. And that question's been asked a lot, hasn't it? Are we getting the Aston Villa version? Are we getting last season's version, the Juventus version? And I don't even know who I'm quoting here, so apologies. But somebody came back with, we have got the new and improved Nottingham Forest version of Douglas Luiz. And I thought, you cannot say it better than that, can you? Yeah. So, yeah, let's drop that now, I think, the whole what version are we going to get, how's he going to be, and let's let Nuno do his thing with the coaching, and yeah, let's see Douglas Luiz, Nottingham Forest. Yeah.
People, what you saying about the comments, man? Like I said, I'm going to speak about it later on. We've got like 100 million on the bench. Isn't that amazing? We've got 100 million on the bench. That is mad. I was talking about lads and ladies yesterday, but it's absolutely crazy, man. Let's talk about Gibbs White, man, because we know he loves his little tricks. He loves his little. Gibbs White's a fantastic player, but he did let down. He did give away the first goal, did he, Simon? Because what's your thoughts on that? Do you think he's a bit, again, stops doing his tricks outside our own area? It's a bit silly, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a time and a place for that sort of thing. I mean, he did a really good flick, I think, in the first half, down in front of where we were, I believe, and that one came off. But you keep doing those sorts of things, ultimately you're going to pay the price, because they're not always going to come off. And to try it out and on the edge of his own box is just suicidal, really. And he just needs to play simple football on that part of the field. That where he was is not a place to do fancy tricks, and ultimately he got punished for it, didn't he?
Looks like I think everyone will get frustrated with Gibbs White, but at the same time, I think everyone in hindsight we are happy he's still here, because he is a fantastic player. Yeah. He's still learning. I think he's 25 years old.
Don't get me wrong, he's a type of player that can certainly express himself on the pitch, and he's got the skills to do that, I think. And like you say, he's still growing, and hopefully this kind of thing will help him learn for the future, and he'll relent from doing those sorts of things in those areas of the pitch and keep it for when they're going forward. But you're right. Excuse me, he's a young player, he'll learn.
Am I right that Thomas Tuchel was there?
I don't know. Was he there?
Yeah, he was. Apparently.
No, he won't get selected then. He won't get selected.
Talk about it being the Tuchel effect. Although in his defence, he put a cracking ball in for our goal, didn't he? So it wasn't all bad.
What? Why did it?
It was Ndoye.
Ndoye.
Through.
Okay. He didn't do that. But
listen, if the England manager doesn't select him just because of one mistake on the edge of the box, then he hasn't got a clue. So He's got to look at the overall ability of Gibbs White. And so far, you can take into account the way he played against Brentford. And for me, selection of that England squad, it's a no-brainer. And Anderson as well. Anderson's the name I'm looking out for in that England squad on Friday.
The next topic was Daniel Ndoye, because first off, I thought he wasn't great. Right wing. Second half, I think he improved. And like I said, he made an assist to set Callum Hudson-Odoi up. The issue with me, right? Like I said, we are going to rotate and that, and we are going to talk about the players that come on as well. But Daniel Ndoye, like I said, he made the goal. He scored a goal against Brentford. He's made a goal. What do you think of him, Kate? Do you think is this position to lose now? Because I feel yesterday that's our first team, if I'm honest. What's your thoughts on Daniel Ndoye, Kate?
I think I would agree that he was definitely better in the second half. I think I didn't notice him quite so much in the first half. Second half, he was here, there, and everywhere, much more involved. So yes, absolutely, and apparently put a really good ball in for our goal, which is excellent. So yes. I think much better. I think I said on our podcast earlier this week, my only concern with him is that I do feel like he needs to be a bit stronger. a little bit stronger in the tackle, a little bit stronger when being tackled, which, you know, hopefully will come with time and experience in the Premier League. But I am enjoying his energy levels.
100%. I think, like I said, first off, I thought it was slow in the pace, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But like I said, he made it up second half. And the comment, where's that comment? Where is it? Patch said he plays better left than the right. And like I said, he made the goal. And I mean, he's only get better.
Yeah, I think you've got to consider that he's got to get used to the pace of the Premier League, which is far different to Serie A. So the fact that he's only 2 games in and he's already had 2 goal contributions, I don't think that can be overlooked as a significant contribution. However, he does need to get up to speed and quickly with the pace of the English Premier League. And that's probably why, like Kate said, he needs to be a little bit stronger, because the Premier League is more physical than Serie A and he doesn't get as much time on the ball necessarily. But that'll come. I don't have any doubts about that at all.
100%. People, please do hit the like button and subscribe to our channel as well. And make sure everyone hits the link of Tricky Talks on the Spotify, please. It's at the top of the title. You listen to Simon, Kate, Chelsea, and annoying Mollo. So if you do want to listen to them, please do. Like I said, talk about Forest like we do. So please go and follow them, please. Right, let's talk about the bench, man. Fuck's sake. We've got 100. Sorry for my language, people. We've got 100 million worth on the bench. Douglas Luiz, Colin Lamendo, James McAtee, who else? Hutchinson. Who else is on there?
Angus Gunn.
He's worth that 10 million. Jesus, Morata. These are big players. And Simon, what's it like? Like in the past, we've looked at the bench and think, oh, it's weak and that. But yesterday, I looked at the bench. I'm like, oh my days, we've got a good bench. And yesterday, like I said, we'll talk about individual players later on. But it feels like if someone plays rubbish, we can replace a good player for a good player. And people in the comments, how are you feeling about that as well? Like, Simon, talk to me. What's it like just saying, wow?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, you mentioned if a player plays rubbish, you can immediately put somebody on who's got that quality. And now, whilst yesterday I don't think anybody played rubbish, when the new players did come on, Jesus, McAtee, Hutchinson, Kalimuendo, they all contributed in their own way, and they made that front four look really good and fresh. And that's the key, freshness. I think when you've got the players of that caliber who can come on last 20, 25 minutes when they're fresh, they're going to make a difference. And I think we saw that yesterday. And to have that option, which we've not had before, and that's ultimately what Nuno wanted, wasn't it? What we all wanted. We wanted that depth to come off the bench, and he's now got it. Bar, a couple of players like fullbacks and a keeper, perhaps, which Nuno has alluded to. That's what he wants. But going forward now, we now know that we've got, if we need to chase the game, we can put fresh legs on, for instance, and it's just a good feeling. That's exactly what we wanted to see from the new squad coming into the season.
100%. So let's talk about individual players. Like, come on, who's we'll start with, boys and girls? Who's we'll start with?
McAtee.
McAtee. Go on, Kate. Like when McAtee come on, what's your thoughts? And people in the chat as well, please get involved. How do you feel about individual players that we are going to talk about? So we're going to talk about James McAtee. Kate, talk about James McAtee. How do you feel about when he come on?
He's got a lovely touch, hasn't he? Yeah. Like you've just said, exciting to have all these players on the bench, and great feeling to be looking forward to seeing who's going to come on and what impact they're going to have, as opposed to previously when we've been a bit like, ooh, who's he going to bring on, or don't take them off, or why have you done that? You know, and I know there's been some talk about positions and whether or not he played them in quite the right position, but just exciting. And McAtee just looked absolutely class. And yeah, like I say, what an incredible touch. How exciting to get to watch him for the rest of the season.
People in the chat, and this question, where is the best position for McAtee? Kate, where do you think McAtee's best position is? People in the chat, where is his best position? Because he can play the 10, he can play each wings. Where do you think he can play?
I think that's one of the great things about him, isn't it? The versatility. You know, I guess as time moves on, we might see a preferred position for him in our lineup, but I couldn't answer that right now because I've not seen enough of him.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's so versatile. We don't yet know what his best position is, and I can see a scenario where he fulfills a number of roles throughout the season, and we just ultimately just regard him as a versatile player, and he doesn't settle into one role because, I mean, when you think of our first 11, who's he going to displace on a permanent basis? It's difficult to know who that would be. So I can see him fulfilling a number of roles, to be honest.
Let's talk about another player, Colin Amendu, if I got his name right. I think I said it. I thought he'd come on, and again, people. I was talking. Who was I talking to? I think it was Dave or someone. As I don't see how small he is. He's about 5 foot. He reminds me of sorry, David Johnson. Reminds me of him. Small person, but he's got so much energy when he come on. Tell me, Simon, how do you feel how he come on?
He gives us another dimension, doesn't he? He's totally different to Chris Wood, who is good at holding the ball up and is a predator in the box, whereas Kali Muendo, I think, offers that little bit more pace, doesn't he? With all due respect to Chris Wood, he's not the quickest player in the world, but Kali Muendo offers that something different, doesn't he, in terms of being able to latch on to those through balls that Ndoye played for Hudson-Odoi, for instance. You can see a scenario where Kali Muendo is going to be under those sorts of through balls.
Before we do, okay, we've got someone in the chat with some girl called Chelsea. Hey, boys, family, I'm supposed to be on search on Bob. I hope you send me some chicken, Chelsea. I love chicken, so Chelsea, please send me a plate if you can. But shout out to Chelsea as well. She's part of the Tricky Talks as well, people. So show some love to Chelsea as well. Who else is there? Hutchinson. I see it on social media. People are criticizing him. I don't know why. He come on for the last 20 minutes. Maybe because he missed that shot. Simon, are people on social media crazy?
It depends what they're criticising him of, really. I mean, are they criticising because he played 10 minutes and didn't score? Or are they criticising him because of his fee? I mean, what are they criticising him on?
That's the fee. It's the fee.
But it's nothing to do with him. He didn't decide that fee, did he? It was his selling club and his agent, wasn't it, that kind of negotiated that. So he's not to blame. So I don't think he can be criticised for that. It's not his fault. I mean, he's a young player. He's 20, 21, 22 or something like that. And he's going to grow into the role for sure. So I think it's way too early to start criticising him, to be honest.
Okay, let's talk about that late try from Igor Jesus Miles. But I thought he went in. I thought, from my angle, I thought he went in. Of course, fans, how are you feeling about that, man? We almost went mad about hitting the bar. What was you feeling, Kate, when it hit the bar? I thought it was in.
Just, gutted that it hit the bar, because as you're watching it, you're thinking, this is it. It was such a good piece of play and would have been an absolutely incredible goal. So, yeah, sad for him not to have scored it, sad for us not to have sewn up the 3 points. But if we're going to see moves like that close to the end of a game, then a lot of those are going to go in. So we've got some really exciting goals coming. So yeah, let's just enjoy that as it unfolds.
We've got a good squad, haven't we? We've got a very good squad. Like I said, we've got a great bench, man. I'm looking forward to the season, but like I said, it's going to be more rotated, if I'm honest. Like I said, I think the back five you'll see for yourself, but it's going to be so much rotation. I think I'll do a video tomorrow regarding who's best in each position. So I'll do the video tomorrow for that. Before we do talk about the other stuff as well, I think we'll get out of the way, because we want to be done by 8 o'clock, people, because we want to watch Newcastle. I'm not saying the other team because I don't like the other team, so I've been watching Newcastle. So people, let's shout out for Newcastle to win that team at 8 o'clock. People in chat, who's man of the match for tomorrow, yesterday's game, and what was just rating for each player? So, Simon, who's man of the match yesterday?
I don't think anybody stood out head and shoulders above everybody else. I think they were all pretty much the same level, both in terms of the first half, and everybody seemed to elevate their game in the second half, with the exception of Matt Sells, who didn't really have a lot to do in the second half, if I'm honest with you. But if I had to pick one, it probably would be Murillo. I think I mentioned him and Milenkovic earlier being like a rock in the centre of that defence, and I think he played a few good through balls as well. one in particular. Was it him to? It was him to Jesus at the end there, wasn't it? As well.
Yeah, it was.
Yes,
Yes,
it
was.
Ball.
Yeah.
So I think Murillo probably was the standout player if I had to choose one.
I think that I get mine the way. Murillo was for me was my man of the match as well. Anton was close as well, if I'm honest, but for me, Murillo was for me. Kate, who's your man of the match?
I'm going to agree with Patch Adams and say Williams for me.
Williams?
Yeah, I thought
he was getting like fouled left, right, and centre. He was.
He was getting pushed around all over the place. He was getting fouled, but he was absolutely solid and going in for everything. And I mean, I love Nico. And for me, so maybe I watch him a lot, but I thought he had a cracking game. I thought he was exactly what we needed.
100%. Kate says Williams. I said me and Sam said Willow. People, if you are rewatching this in the comment section, who do you think your man of the match was? So please get involved. Please, like I said, people, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and like I said, make sure everyone follows me. I can't wait till Friday. We will talk about that later on the show as well. Make sure everyone follows Chuck E. Cheese as well. The link is in the top of the chat. So yeah. Please do follow Tricky Talks as well. Right, let's talk about the main subjects, man, because there's been so much talk about what happened, the banner. Who we starting with? Let's start with you, Kate. And people in the chat, right? Let's say let's keep it real because we don't want no problems with Crystal Palace. I don't want no problems with Crystal Palace. Okay, what's your opinion on the banner?
I have a big issue with the banner. And my issue with the banner is the image of the gun being put to Morgan Gibbs White's head. For me, that crosses a line. It's not okay. Football banter is fine, and you know what? Marinakis can take it, can't he? He's not going to be.
He's from Greece. That's the thing. He's from Greece. He won't care. He won't care.
No, he's not going to be. He's not going to be sobbing at home in his bedroom because somebody said not very nice things about him at Crystal Palace. But for me, the image is not okay. It crosses the line. It's more than banter. I don't want to see it. I don't want my kids to see it. I'm not okay with that. I'm sorry. I'm not okay with that.
And before I do get Simon on it, like when the put is not, and then they put the rest of the stuff, they try to be clever with it. But with the gun situation, that's where they cross the line because you see it on every football team promote gun violence, and like I said, most of it happens all around UK, the violence. But when you see football teams try and promote no to guns, and you see Crystal Palace doing it, that's the bit I feel a bit. Okay, you crossed the line on it. Like I said, like Kate said, it's banter and having a little joke and having a little joke with rival fans. But for me, it's crossed the line. Sam, what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, I don't disagree with what both of you have said. I think, however, for me, it's like that was not a small banner. That was a pretty large banner.
Yeah, it was a big banner.
Yeah, not one that you can sneak in a back pocket. So it was going to be obvious when it was brought into the ground what it was. And my question is, why aren't Crystal Palace checking it? Because they know the history, they know the potential for what and the meaning behind the fixture, particularly so soon and everything's so raw after that European decision. Why aren't they checking the banner before it gets raised by the fans behind the goal? That's a question to me. So whilst, there's no doubt around the content of the banner itself, we know it was over that line, but why aren't Crystal Palace doing anything to check that sort of thing to make sure it's fit for purpose before it's raised in the crowd? That's the question I've been asking, not to anyone in particular, but kind of wondering why aren't the club doing much more to dampen those scenarios, because it's not what anybody wanted to see, and couldn't really understand why it was allowed, to be honest.
I don't know if everyone's seen that. There was a bit of it. I think someone from I don't know where it was. I was about to put it on there, but for copyright reasons, I don't want to do it. There was someone from a different angle watching what was put up. So I personally feel Palace didn't know that was going up. So
and I agree. I don't think they knew it was a fan-led initiative, but when you've got a banner of that size being walked through the turnstiles, why aren't they checking it? Why are they allowing it to go through without checking?
It was funny because a few Forest fans had the Marinakis picture up with a doll, and there wasn't like that in. So how the hell have they put that massive banner in, which was so baffling? But end of the day, man, Palace, what was you doing? You should be doing it because now you're in trouble. And I think with Marinakis, like I said, I think he'll laugh about it, but end of the day, it's the gun situation. I think that's the issue. You don't want kids, especially the kids, in this time of year, of seeing guns like that pointed to someone. So for me, I think it's a bit sour. I think the pipe bomb thinks it's funny. Yes, but it's the gun situation. For me, it's a bit harsh.
I know you've got to think of Morgan Gibbs White and his family as well now. So I know it wasn't directly targeted at them, but they've got to be impacted by seeing that sort of thing against their father or their husband or partner. I mean, obviously, his kids are young, not going to understand, but they may see that sort of thing in the future when they're older and things are replayed. So you've got to consider those feelings as well, what it does to other people outside of the people depicted on the banner itself.
Shout out to Davey. We support hi Ben, hi Simon, hi Kitty. Davey's a legend, so shout out to Davey. People, it's a bigger topic now. I've not spoken to Simon or Kit about it. Let's talk about Nuno. We all knew before the game that the crazy interview that he did, the press conference about basically his relationship with Edu. I'll have my say about it. I think I said it on Friday or Saturday when it was. And I repeat on it. It's like at a job. You can't. If you speak to the big man, you got to speak to the middleman in between, and then the middleman speaks to the big man. Maybe Nuno doesn't like it. Maybe Nuno asking for about Traore or talk the owner. Can I have Traore? And Nuno doesn't like it. I think it happens in the whole work life.
It does, yeah. I've seen it a lot.
Simon. This is why. With them kind of things are like, if Nuno is frustrated, speak to Edu privately, get whoever there and get them all together. What's your take on it, Simon? And before I get Kate.
Yeah, I think you're right in what you say around. I work in the corporate world, and I've seen a lot of cases where a senior management is brought in a new role, and he interrupts that direct line of communication that a lesser manager might have with somebody higher up, and that in itself is absolutely fine. I think you've got to follow that chain of command, and if Edu is effectively Nuno's boss, then he's got to respect that. However, if it all depends on the way Edu has approached it, if Edu comes in and says, sorry, Nuno, you're no longer allowed to contact Marinakis direct, I'm not allowing it, then of course Nuno's going to have his nose put out of joint, isn't he? So there's a way you can go about these sorts of things. And I do wonder if Nuno's got an issue with the way it happened, because you think about, there was a report in The Athletic that Daniel Taylor wrote in terms of how Nuno fell out with him on day one. And it was almost like Edu came in like a bull in a china shop and said, right, you're doing this, this, and this, and this. You're no longer allowed to contact Marinakis. End of. And so there is an approach that's needed from Edu's side to address that. But at the same time, Nuno has got to respect that chain of command as well. But you're right. I don't think he should have aired his laundry in public. I think that's an issue that you resolve and discuss behind closed doors. I know he's come out in the press and said he wasn't using it as a way to get the sack. I just wonder if he was using it as a way to get the fans on his side, so that if there is some sort of we saw it with Steve Cooper, didn't we? The fans supported the manager, and ultimately the manager stayed. He didn't get sacked. And I wonder if Nuno was trying to do exactly the same thing, get the fans on his side to make it difficult for Marinakis to actually relieve him of his duties.
Before I get Kate, I want to say morning to Anthony. He's all the way in Australia. So Anthony, good morning to all the Aussie people as well. Good morning as well. Pete, I'm going to message you because are you the Pete? I don't know. Nuno portrayed the Greek 5 on Friday. Can't be trusted. Sack him now. Yeah, Pete, you like to troll on it, don't you, Pete? I thought it was a message, so I'll put it on. What about you, Kate? Do you think who's right? People in the chat, who's to blame? Edu or Nuno? Who's to blame? People in the chat, who's to blame? Who could you blame? I'll ask you, Kate. Who's to blame for all this?
So I might have a slightly different perspective on this one.
Go on, then.
Well, first of all, I 100% want Nuno to continue as our manager. I think that's really important to say, and I think it's really important for the club that we try and make that happen. To me, I look at this situation and I think, wow, isn't this a classic example of the male ego in football? To me, it comes across as who's the boss, who's the biggest, who's the, I don't know. There are many euphemisms I could use, but I'm not going to. And I just think, get yourselves together, do your jobs, put the club first, stop having your tantrums, and crack on, please.
Definitely. That is spot on. It's absolutely spot on, Kate, on that. Anything else? Right. Because we do want to watch the Liverpool game, people, so I'm not going to keep Simon and Kate here as much as long. Let me just read comments. So, I drove to Brighton to Notts to watch it on my mate's sofa in Stone. I always went to sit around Saturday the first time I laughed, and it was dream fulfilled. Well done, Simon. Well done, Simon, for that. I hope it was fulfilled your dreams and watching Nottingham Forest as well. People, like I said, I'm going to end this conversation about Crystal Palace because I've got no beef with Crystal Palace. I've got no issues with Crystal Palace. With Nuno, listen, we all support Nottingham Forest and we want the best of Nottingham Forest. We want good players in. We want to be as high as possible in the Premier League. We want to do well in the Europa League that I am going to talk about at the end of the show. Listen, we just hope it all calms down. And I don't know, like I said, I don't think Simon spoke about Daniel Taylor. I got an issue with Daniel Taylor. He's a journalist, but every time there's trouble, he writes something there, which I'm not a fan of. But he's a journalist, and that's his job. So, listen, and I hope it gets sorted out. I don't want Nuno sacked because he's done fantastic for us. I'm just hoping it ends it because it got a bit boring, didn't it, a little bit? But listen, we hope it's sorted and on that from that. Right. Let's talk about the fun bit because, as everyone knows, it's the draw on Friday, 12 o'clock. I will do a live stream about it. People in the chat, because I've done these are the teams. Kate, you can't see it. Kate can't see it, so she will see it as well. Simon can see it, and we can't see Kate's face, so I do apologise, Kate. So these are the teams we possibly could get on Friday. I hope, and if there's any Rangers fans out there, I hope you lose next game because I really, really want to go to Rangers away. I want to go to Lyon away. I want to go to quite a few teams like Porto, Real Betis, and Zagreb. There's them kind of clubs as well. So people in the chat, please get involved with this one. Who do you want? Is it 17 that we play? 17 because we will be in group 2 or 3, whatever it is.
I think we play 8, 2 in each pot, I believe. 2
in each pot. So people in the chat, what team? 2 or 3 teams that are the main teams that you would love to play. I'm going to mention, as I said, I want Rangers, I want Lyon, and I want maybe. They're the main 2 teams. I want Rangers and Lyon because we can have the Texas derby. That's you, Simon. Who do you want on Friday draw?
I think it will just be absolutely hilarious if they draw Lyon. I think it's written in the stars, isn't it? It's inevitable. It seems they're going to be drawn against Lyon.
What was the score last time? Was it 1-0?
I think so. That was back in the mid-90s, wasn't it?
95, 96.
Yeah. I think I was there for that game as well. I believe the home one, anyway.
Who scored it? Was it Steve Stone? No, Steve Stone.
Was that the one when Paul McGregor put the penalty rebound in? From Stuart Pearce?
It was 0-0 up there, Grant, wasn't it? And we won 1-0 at Forest. Paul McGregor. Yeah. That was my first game, you know. That was my first Forest game I've ever been to. So, Paul McGregor, if you're watching, you just watch this. That was my first game. He knows. I keep telling him this. So, yeah, that was my first game. What else is there? Like I said, Rangers, Lyon.
Obviously, I mentioned before last time I was on it, Malmo. They've not quite qualified yet, but I think, again, it's one of those fixtures where you can see the obvious connection, and it's and I just think a rematch of that European Cup
Can
final.
Celtic be in it? Can Celtic be in it? I don't know if they can or not.
I don't think so. No, Aberdeen can. I think it's Aberdeen from Scotland could potentially be in it.
Because I saw if Celtic they're in the Champions League qualifying.
Yeah, it is. I think.
Is it this week? I don't know if it's this week or not. If they lose the Champions League qualifier, don't they get dropped down to Europa?
I'm not sure. Don't know.
Leave in the chat. Can someone tell me if they lose their game because once it's 0-0 for David said it was 0-0. So if they lose their game, I don't know if they get dropped down. But I would love to go Celtic as well. Celtic and Rangers 1-2. I don't care. I want to go to a Spanish. Yeah, David says yes. He's right. Thank you, David. So please, Celtic, lose. Please lose. I hope you lose. Kate, who do you fancy?
I don't know. For me, it's as much about going somewhere to see them. I think that's why I'm not so fussed about the Scottish idea. Like I've never seen them before.
It's just cheaper, Kate. That's all it is. We need to be.
Oh, I know. And watch Forest play. I'm sorry that's how I feel about it. Roma, Porto, Betis, any of those, I will be watching with one window open on the draw and one window open on Sky Scanner, and let's see what happens. Although I did hear today, I think they said on Forest Focus we only get to know what teams we play. On Friday we don't get to know what date we play them, the fixture date. I don't know if that's correct, but I have heard that today.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was. I think Forest Focus, they put something on their Instagram on finding cheap hotels and all that. So I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it, people. I will be doing a draw. We'll be doing a draw live stream on here. So if you want to hear my pretty voice, please go and watch that as well. Boys and girls, anything else you want to talk about before we do leave? Because, like I said, I'm excited for the draw. I'm excited to go in Europe. So, anything else you want to say, Katie, before we go?
I know I sort of briefly touched on it at the beginning about the whole Nottingham Forest roller coaster, and I am absolutely exhausted. We had the massive high of Sunday, and then this crazy press conference with Nuno and all the things that have come from that. This massively loaded game against Palace. I'm excited to get back to the City ground and play West Ham, and I think it should be a good game. I think the result should go our way, but mostly it just feels a little bit less. As long as Nuno's still at the helm, obviously, it just feels like we can just go and enjoy that game of football for what it is. So,
Simon, anything else before we go?
Yeah, if you don't mind me promoting our podcast, Ben, it'll be much appreciated. We are going to be recording tomorrow where we'll talk some more on the Nuno Edu situation. We'll review the Palace game. We'll look forward to West Ham. And Kate's going to do a quiz, Tricky Talks trivia that we bring to you.
A quiz?
Yeah, Tricky Talks trivia, half time of our show every week, Ben.
I'll be listening to it. I'll win. Molo's not in it, is it?
He will be, yeah. Molo will be in it. And if you listen when the podcast is produced, you can find out why Tricky Talks has gone viral this week.
Yes.
You're on viral. Yeah, Molo said it. I know he said it for the so Molo, yeah. So we've seen it, Molo. Yeah, is it 1 million?
2.8 last time I looked, something like that.
Bloody hell, you're not going mad. You're not going absolutely crazy. But yeah, like I said, people, please, like I said, go and follow Tricky Talks. It's in the top of the chat. So if you can, just click on it and listen to like Simon, Kate, Charles, and Molo. So yeah, people, please, like I said, go and follow them. Right, people, let's go. Like I said, it's been a pleasure. Kate and Simon, thank you again for taking your time on the channel. Make sure, like I said, you follow everyone on all social medias as well. I'll be back. I'm gonna do a video tomorrow, like I said, what we can be with, because we've got a massive team, and it's good for myself, for you lot to as well get involved as well. Definitely doing the draw on Friday. I'm definitely doing. I'll be drinking my Fanta or my cup of tea on Friday. So I'm excited for that. But yes, people, if you are watching this, if you agree or disagree that myself and the panel is, please do. Please, let's go and watch Sky Sports now and see Newcastle smash Liverpool, because I don't want Liverpool to win. because I'm sick and tired of my brother phoning me all the time. So, right, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for watching. I'll speak to you soon. Peace and love up the bloody forest.